G'day, welcome back to my Oxygen Not Included as we attempt to survive as long as we can. So, thank you for the suggestions on the previous video. So, I have heard it enough to say, like, alright, I will change what we've got going on here. So, currently, I have just started pumping that oil through the base, and we can already see the effects that that is having. So, I am going to disable that guy as an absolute emergency. The suggestion is get rid of that and put in, well, they're not gonna, you're gonna kill a lot of plants here real quick, I reckon. But if I cut the pipe, it's just gonna leak out unless I say someone, oh, there's nothing in the pipe beyond there. Right, so it'll just stop at this point anyway. And then just sit there and potentially cool. Alright. Either way, we are killing that idea. Thank you, Barney's gonna get in there. Stop that one. I did like that there was a comment on the video that was fortune sides with him who dares Virgil as a quote. And the thing was, this was posted by an account called Make $500 TG Crypto Top X. So I couldn't quite tell if this was just something that they just dropped on every sort of video, or if this was genuinely a comment of this crypto account to say like, hell yeah, brother, let's watch the world burn. But what I'm going to do is, I did like the suggestion that in here you can see there's crude oil anyway, so I can do a quick clean out of this room by just deconstructing the floor. So we will deconstruct that floor, and we will ditch this guy, deconstruct him as well. We can just drop him to a level 9. Alright, so he'll start getting blocked because he's gone any further. And we can stop our plants from dying with the contents of the crude oil is now, you can see, 42 degrees. So the oil itself has actually dropped to a much more manageable level as we watch a huge bunch of oil just sort of dip down, and all these guys can say thumbs up about that happening. I don't remember why I was building this ladder. Alright, to get the coal. Okay, so that's now happened. So what we want to do now is rebuild this floor. Possibly not the... I mean, stopping that oil was probably a main priority, but someone else... I think Tesla Mosling pointed out that the high pressure in here, if this guy blocks from high pressure, then it means the natural gas won't actually work. So I've got to be careful that this guy's high pressure is working, and you can see that he's overpressuring. So we possibly need to shift where he is just to stop that overpressuring happening. Now, I don't quite get why the pressure wouldn't continue to push down to, say, somewhere like here. Like, why can this part be like 3 kilos of pressure, while up here is 20 kilos? But what we'll do, and there's that other pipe there that currently being used. It's not, so we can just appropriate that pipe. So what we can do is we can say deconstruct that. Let's have a look at our ventilation. Down here, oh, we're probably too deep there, so let's go ventilation to this room here. Put a high pressure lead made pipe there. We'll cancel that. We don't want to deconstruct the wire. We want to deconstruct the gas pipe. We will deconstruct him. So then we'll go back to gas pipe. And we will go 1, 2. Deconstruct him. We'll just wait there for that change to happen. There was something else that felt urgent that needed to get done. So On a similar note, I need this guy to actually be working too. I wonder if possibly if I just ask for this floor to be dug out. Can they reach that? No. If we can just see some of this this go, if that will allow this guy to sort of get a bit more available pressure. Or if similarly I should just sort of push him elsewhere. Alright, so that's now cleared, so we can go gas bridge. Well, deconstruct that guy too, and let me make that an emergency, because this one's right there. See, Gossman, you still need to work on your speed. Something bad there. Alright, ventilation, gas bridge pointing down. Done. Then once that's in place, and this guy can just push all of that out, with these guys being 0.6 of a cycle away. And we need that finished as well. But luckily they destroyed this one, so they've got the actual parts to make that right on hand. Now this all exists on this guy's pressuring system too. I do wonder if what I need to do is just flip this and build, say, got this ladder here. What if I just built this system all the way up to get to this vacuum and just shoot carbon dioxide out into space? I can't see any reason why I need it. It just seems like it's a yeah, it just doesn't seem needed. But again, the difference between the pressure here and the pressure there makes me think that I actually should dig out this wall. So let's knock out all of that. Once they get down to that level, they should be able to walk across to do some of that. So just give them that whole section to knock out. We will up the priority of that guy because we know this is moments away from coming and we need the... we need that to be able to get going. Got a lovely waterfall running there. Was also the request for for the battery. Let's dig out this whole little ecosystem too. Put a ladder just through the middle of it. Alright, so it's that, and we need... So, I need the floor built in here before we can start putting in any water in here. He's still trucking away. Good. So again, do I just need to put these as some sort of high priority just to really hammer home that... I mean, the problem is that once everything's high priority, then nothing's high priority. Got some lead there. And the other one was that I need... let's get rid of that square. We'll replace that with just a ladder. We'll deconstruct this whole row of ladders there. We'll put in another clear floor. Oh, no, we don't need a clear floor. What we're going to do is we're going to put in... two smart batteries. conveniently put them in this little gap that cabling goes around. The smart batteries I just have connected to the network, so this is for these two petroleum guys, but am I connecting them directly to it, or am I just sort of having them on the network? I mean, essentially that would suggest that just having more smart batteries around means that I can have just a backlog of available space around. I'm still overpressured. How hard is it to get to space? I feel like if I do have like say a route to space for gas, then I can just sort of use that one tube to get everyone. Side note, you can see that now that I've got this guy working again, that there is a nice push of oxygen moving up these pipes. Very... Oh, that's not the oxygen, is it? That's the oxygen. That's just the gas. Now, never mind. Okay, so we've got the floor built. No, we don't have the floor yet. Still under construction. Okay, so this guy's pushing out nicely. So I would say that he has started. Maybe. Let's see. This isn't helping him at all. I mean, the thing is that the cost of the pipe isn't that much if it's just going to be, say, granite. So let's get a system built that can just run up the edge of our network. Sort of hidden a little bit. Doesn't need to do that loop back. I think it'll work anyway. Let's cancel that one. And just while I'm doing this too, one thing that I did write in the comments for one person, but this applies to anyone, especially those long-time viewers if you're inspired. I don't like that episodes 2 through 7 of this series, which obviously is a very long time ago now, I don't like that they're all named the exact same thing. There was a point where what I did is I just named every video for this series first time playing. And so the first video, I think, that's an interesting sort of comment on it. That's the first time playing. And it took till episode 8 for me to actually make a comment about, like, something different that was happening, like running out of food or whatever. So if anyone is inspired, or if you haven't watched the series and were considering it, please feel free to go back and watch episodes 1 to... sorry, not 1 to 7, just 2 to 7 will do. And on those videos, on video 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if you think you know what the title of that video should be, just let me know in the comments and I will change the titles, because I don't like them being all first time playing. So, yeah. I feel like going back and rewatching them or seeing them for the first time, remembering where we started. But I'd love to know. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just chip all the way up here, put that there, and then just a gas vent. I think that's okay. Might have to dig out just that guy and that guy. This. You want a pipsqueak? It's a pipsqueak. It's projectile. Okay, so currently we have no water at all in our drinking supply. So we are going to have to bump this to 30. And bump this guy to 30. We need to recover it some drinking water. I really did think that this system here using this to sort of supply the water downstream would have helped. But not to be. Okay, so step one, trying to clear the gas out for this guy. Now got its long process in motion. The next thing that we need is polluted water in here. So again, we can just sort of work in tandem with the guy above. Now, the only problem is that this filter is taking out polluted water. The only pointless aspect of this is it's taking out polluted water that is colder because it's gone through the aqua tuner. But what we can do is with that tiny little change is we can shift it so that that polluted water ends up in here. Now initially the polluted water, well, really I don't need polluted water in here for the freezing part. It's more I need polluted water in there for the to actually run through the system. But I will just do a similar setup to what this initially was, but it'll just be that I'll try and fill this a bunch, and then I'll start to use the aqua tuner to take water out of here, but I won't put water back in. It's basically, it'll just be once you're in the system, you continue in the system. I think is how that's currently set up. Yes, so you can see that stuff will come out, and this guy will just wait to put it into that same system. So we can re-add our liquid pipe to that. Liquid pipe, liquid pump. And see, he's still pumping away. It's just what he just doesn't have. He's just getting completely clean water now, is he? That's a disappointment. Although, is he already doing a filter? Is that what this is? Right, so he's not doing anything. Because it's impossible for polluted water to get down here because that guy's filtering it out. Right, okay, so cancel that. So let's go back in here. We can essentially remove him because he's not doing anything. Does he require power? He does. Well, there's some wattage we can save. So let's go plumbing, cancel. Let's cancel that tube in there. Not cancel. It's liquid pipe. Deconstruct. Deconstruct. Okay, and we're going to put an alarm on this because we want to be focused on this so that we can someone watching the early episodes made a comment on how Stinky is very loyal, and happily say that to this day he very much is. Okay, so from that point, you want to emergency deconstruct that. Perfect. Okay, so then what we want to do is go plumbing, insulated, that. And again, that is emergency Stinky. Yeah, alright. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, Stinky. The other thing is as well, we can deconstruct this guy, and if we have a look at the ventilation, deconstruct all of that too. And basically he's just got to wait for that. I mean, he wasn't doing anything anyway with this overpressured, so there's a long way to go, but it'll get there eventually, and it's more a long-term thing that it means that anyone, even like this guy, we could run across and then connect in there too. That like it means that we've got options to get other gases out of here. Okay, so that guy's now back up and running, and it's this guy then that we want to appropriate. So plumbing, liquid pipe, deconstruct that one. Time being. And how do we get that pipe down here? Follow this piping. So all we need to do is get this guy to go out. Now again, this dude here is doing the filtering. So what's the point of this guy? He's filtering out polluted water, but it's impossible for polluted water to get here. So, all right, deconstruct that, and again, let's put an emergency on it. We're just wasting our own and deconstruct that guy as well. You can see basically it's just free reign. Everything gets to go straight through with this as it is. Takes some getting rid of. Great, and then we can just say connect, but it's already all there, so all good. So, this guy here, I guess we actually don't have that much polluted water in there anymore either, so maybe I should be pulling this from somewhere else. Is that the easiest one? Guess it's that one. Alright, so we've got a ladder that gets us all the way there. So, here we go. It's going to be the electricity and the, is there electricity here? That's still connected to something? Yes. Okay. Cool. There's a cable that comes all the way to here. So what we'll do is we'll run this cable all the way. We'll go across here. Down, down, down. And we will put a liquid pump here. Now I'm pretty sure for that liquid pump, the electricity is in the bottom, not top left, so that's in the right spot. Didn't have to really check another one, this guy would have told me. Plumbing then, we want to go liquid pipe. Now I'm going to back that this guy is going to be fine just doing... Actually, let me pause this for a second. My question is, what was I building all of this new wire out of? Was that copper? Iron ore, good. Okay, so that's all iron ore. This is sandstone. Which is definitely not what we should be doing. So let's go cancel those. We'll just go over the top of the next ones. And so we go plumbing, and we want granite, or is igneous rock looks like it's more plentiful at the moment. So we'll go straight up there. No, we'll cancel all of that. And we'll go copy that guy across here. Straight up there. Cross. Doesn't really need to go all the way up to the top of this guy. That is currently functioning for nothing, so we can say deconstruct that guy. And then what we'll also do is we will deconstruct liquid pipes. And so deconstruct. Because there are so many pipes that I reckon, especially in this area, let's just get rid of the entirety of this one. Now you're pumping again. Oh no, I assume you've just had more of a more of that tubing's been completed. I mean, it's not too big a deal because the crude oil is now 33 degrees. Like, it's not like this is a cooling oil project at the moment. A lot of major works going on for this bit. Those batteries are still waiting. Where's for new generators? Yep. I think that's everything that we're trying to get done. We'll speed things up just because these are big projects that we're working on. Now, as this starts to increase, and you can see too that the average temperature in here is still only 25. So what we're letting through is still water at 25 degrees. So not too bad. The actual problem that we have is that this is getting quite lean. Let's get someone up here to copy that for a straight line. Look, we've got a baby little Aku in there too. We dare try and catch him and turn him back to what is now just a germy clear water. How much of that we can get down. I mean, I realize that there's all this here too. Potentially, actually, once we're through pumping this polluted water up for this guy, we might expand that up to here and have him dump that liquid into that section. Because it's only tiny bits of crude oil in here. Question as well is, what do I do with the crude oil that's already in those pipes? Potentially chuck a filter in there to try and just eliminate them. Even putting, like, potentially what we could do is chuck a pump somewhere in here to try and just get rid of this carbon dioxide. Just pump it out to the atmosphere as well. Electricity-wise, though, we seem to be doing a lot better at the moment. See that this guy's getting his natural gas going. Doesn't feel like we've had anyone stop for a while. Is that just an update? That's changing, because that's already insulated, and that's what radiant, so we can get rid of that. I can stay as insulated. It should be insulated, really. Yes, that liquid pump does need to be steel. Alright, so while we're waiting on that, and we can see that even though I emptied this guy of his crude oil, we will get all of that back at some point. Water levels are looking a lot nicer. Both of them are actually delivering water to this. And again, he's pumping like 24 degrees through too. In fact, he didn't even change. We just genuinely... I'm gonna drop you to 25 too. I think that we've delivered enough back, and this guy's happy enough with what he's putting through that we can probably become a little bit more picky now. Now, I realized too, another thing that I've done, or like another silly move I've made here is that there is no reason why I shouldn't put a steam turbine in here. Um, it really doesn't make any sense, and I think I will. What I'll do is that the point of this was to fill it with a ridiculous amount of oil for no real reason. So what I can do is that once I've gotten my polluted water just delivered there, and then I suck up that polluted water to chuck it into the aqua tuner, and that's going, and then things start to heat up, and it looks a bit more like this, that we've got the amount of polluted water sort of just in this section here, and then what I can do is I can cut this room and just put a door here, put a roof here, and then chuck a steam turbine in this section there. So the weird design of it has allowed room to actually put a turbine in there too, and we may as well try and get the production that we're getting from the turbines, because yeah, definitely we want that going. So the other thing that I wanted to look at was he's almost hit his limit. So that would mean that this guy is almost back up to his max as well. So if we go back to our star map 2, we could probably assume we're done whatever we've most recently been looking at. So let's analyze that guy. And how are we doing research-wise? This feels like an easy achievement that has been a lot harder than, I guess, that first impression of getting the 100% in these. Got these ones, and then we've got those ones. Solid materials found in space. Haku. Haku, it's what it's called? Yeah. Hanging out in there too. Stress levels are down. Food count is good. This place is looking bananas, which is great. This guy's too hot. Crude oil is down to 27 degrees. It's almost low enough that we can put it in our drinking water. All that hydration requires is coolness, not content of what you're drinking. They are taking their time on these two batteries. I've got some of that lead moving, but show how, I guess, how hard to come by lead is. I'm glad we didn't have to go that far for this wire. But the rest of that's all built. Like, they got right onto that pipe building. What's the temperature down here too? Not too bad. It's all 40 degrees. So, just while we're in this building phase, I suppose that whole wall there is currently being used by that. So I can't just have this cable sort of conveniently run up there. But what we can do is we can put this here, then there, and then disconnect, cancel that one. No, I can put those in walls, right? Copy this guy, put him there. Can't do that, so actually that's fine. That one there should probably be enough. Then copy that and put that there. So basically, once this cable here is done, what we can do is just connect him there, and then using this guy's tubing, we can have that send a whole bunch of water north. Man, are they eager to build that liquid pipe. Like, that's close to home, it's an easy build. Let's get it done. But we do finally have this guy pumping as well. Now him, I'm happy to, like I said, I'm happy to fill this room. The logic being that it's going to be the liquid that's going to be pumping around. I'm amazed that's taken so long, but I keep forgetting that is steel that we're going to be dealing with there. But it actually probably doesn't have to be. He shouldn't be functioning at a point beyond where... cancel deconstruction. He shouldn't be in there functioning at a point when that is so sort of in demand, like so hot. So let's just make this a cheaper pump. No, that is steel. Quick question, I didn't build this guy out of steel, did I? Made of. Okay, if I say copy, I'll find out. He is? He's made of steel? Oh, alright, let's make sure we remember to get rid of him. Put that guy there. So apart from that, I'm pretty sure that that means that this loop is fully built too. So if we just trace that along... No. That's the wrong way too. So it's this one. So we go this way. That builds, it goes across. That oil has managed to move all the way to there. I don't know why it stopped at that point, but that continues on. That radiant pipe is still being built. So all of this time of sort of changing from that oil to polluted water has actually not delayed anything in the time of what sort of is going to rotate through the base, because that route through the base hasn't even been built yet. Slight gamble here that I'm not even vetting this polluted water, that it is just whatever comes, it's fine. I mean, already part of this is all that we're doing is freezing this, so if it's the oil, it's probably not too bad. That's gonna that won't sort of have a bad freezing level, but seem to be unanimous that the polluted water is the way to go. And it will more be it'll more just be if there's normal water in there. I can imagine if that got too cold, it could crack the pipes or something. But hopefully, as soon as this guy's built, he's going to start pumping. And as soon as he starts pumping, we're going to yeah, we're going to be swimming. Hopefully cooling polluted water that we may one day again see these bristle blossoms alive and well. And if really it's been a miracle to this point that we haven't lost more plants, that we are just holding just under requirements. I did see the comments too as well saying that I should reduce the distance that this pipe is currently going, and it should just focus on the plants. But we'll let it go for now. Okay, cool. So I can see that oil is just moving along a little bit more, because that whole route is finally finished. Lovely. So once that guy's in... Now, this actually is probably a good point. Because I don't want to keep this, do I? So let's... Someone is right there. Let's just quickly put an emergency deconstruct that. Plumbing. Put a liquid bridge in. Right there. And put a liquid vent right there. And because we should be wrapping up here, so let's get this done and call it a day. So is that still on its way? I mean, it's not going to go anywhere at this point, but we can have a fun, this little race against time. Basically, the race against time is, can that get there before this thing starts to pump liquid that catches it? Which I would say definitely not, because they've done a killer job. So, from this, what we can do is we can go, alright, speed up things. Put that around the wrong way, I realize now. Alright, so deconstruct that. I already said that one. Yep, good. And back to the pipes. on insulated pipes, and on that connecting there. And it is, we want to disconnect that, deconstruct that one in an emergency. That one we want to copy across to here. No, now you... No, that's not what you want to be doing. Actually, either way, that deconstruct is the problem fixer here. Thank you. That stops that guy pumping it that way too. Great, so now we can just watch that oil get out of the system. Say, someone get that built, please. There goes the water. It's 27 degrees, so it definitely could be colder at this point. But it will cool down the area that we're sending it through. Hopefully, well, it'll pull some stuff out of that air. Right, okay, so that's now done. So what we can do is we can deconstruct that, and is there an insulated pipe behind that too? Yep, deconstruct that. Then we want to say insulated pipe between those guys. And let's slow this down slightly. Have a look at our piping, and we can see that the polluted water in there is 29 degrees. Surrounding area is dropping slightly. The question will be now, what temperature does that come back at? Because currently it's getting colder. That means that it's more a product of its environment than it's affecting the environment. Again, that's okay, as long as next time it goes through, it's even colder than that. And that we'll just eagerly await for next time. That complex system we've got now, holy dooly, there's definitely more of this tubing that we could probably delete, do another audit. Alright, but there we go. Yeah, any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. Should I expand this out? Now, I did already see that someone comment that I should limit it, but is there any value in that actually dropping into this, like, the really hot section down the bottom here? Like, potentially at the end of its journey rather than at the start of it. So that it sort of leaves having pulled that last bit of heat out, as opposed to sort of like getting so much hotter that it then ruins it for everyone else. So now that it's hit back into insulated, it's 28 degrees. So at the point that this goes through a second time, I suppose we're so close now we can just hang out to sea. Really, we want this guy to realize that he's no longer the priority. Otherwise, it's going to cause a jam. See, he's going to slide the second one in every time. But we wanted him to do it just until that stops. What do we got in there now? 17 degrees, 14 degrees, 15 degrees. Cool. So we will see how that goes. Cooling down our network. Yeah, and until next time, catch you later. See ya.